My senior project at Lakeland to get my diploma, because we're a new tech high school, we have leading edge. So to do that, you have to have 56 hours of community service, an internship, certain number of college classes, and a senior project. And the project is supposed to help impact your community. So of course, I had no idea what I was gonna do. And then being in JAG, it helped me figure out what I wanted to do, which was to create a JAG class at Lakeland. In my class, we had started preparing for CDC, and we had like a little competition on who wanted to do what. So I did the public speaking, and my impact instructor said, okay, you're the one who's gonna represent us. And then we went to the regional event, and I actually won first. And I was going to the state event. And I was sitting in the wards next to my specialist, and I was looking around at all the other schools, and we had East Noble, DeKalb, Northside, Southside, all the schools. And I was like, well, heck, it's not like they're far away. It's not like they're all Fort Wayne schools. I mean, I go by East Noble every day on the way to Impact. And I was like, why doesn't Lakeland have this? Like, that would be the perfect thing for us, being new tech. And it was kind of a joke between me and Christine, because I had leaned over and I was like, I want to make this a JAG at Lakeland for my senior project. You know, being a junior, didn't even really know if that was possible or anything. And all summer, that's all I could think about. I was like, okay, how am I going to do this? Who am I going to talk to? What am I going to do? And honestly, if I wouldn't have gone to state, I don't think I would have been able to. Because meeting Rachel Bryant and all the other people, getting those connections and social networking, which were skills that I had learned from JAG, I don't think I would have been able to, because I wouldn't have had the connections. From there, I had talked to Christine, and she gave me Rachel's contact information. And I called her and I was like, okay, what are my steps? And she said that I needed to have it clear with the school, get them to understand, and then we would talk about it and then figure out if it was even possible. So we had a little, it's kind of like a job fair, you know, where they have booths and stuff. And we had to present our senior project ideas to all the teachers, and every single teacher was all over it. And I didn't realize it was going to be that impactful. At the time I was like, oh, you know, we're just going to have a class. It didn't seem like it was going to mean anything. And the more people I talked to, the more people are super impressed, and I'm like, am I really doing anything? It doesn't feel like it, but I hope that it can help students as much as it's helped me. So after the job fair, I talked to my guidance counselors, and then we set up a meeting with my principal, and then from there we set up another meeting with my superintendent. Rachel had come to those, and we talked about the different requirements, would we have to have would they have to pay for it? Would they have to have an area, a classroom? How would the funding work? Who would do this and who would do that? And how would we get a specialist and all this kind of thing? So it was more or less just catching everybody up to speed, because I mean, nobody really knew about JAG from Lakeland, which how would they, you know, unless they knew somebody from another school. So now that everybody's on board, everybody wants to go for it. So now it's more or less just finalizing everything. We have to make sure that the funding's available, and then we have to lock in the funding, and we have to make sure that the graduation rate and that there's a need for it at Lakeland and all that such. But as far as I hear from my superintendent and everything should be okay. JAG gives students direction. There's certain skills that I've learned in JAG that I have not learned in high school. And going to a new tech school, all they ever talk about is how they're preparing us for college. Oh, we're preparing you for the workforce. You're going to learn so much. All you do is present and you talk and you get these connections. But I feel like we do. I feel like we talk about it. And I'm like, sure. But we never get there. And there's a lot of opportunities that I've gotten from Lakeland that I don't think I would have got somewhere else. But JAG was that polishing step. JAG taught me how to get nap. It taught me how to social network, how to fill out a resume and a cover letter, which were all things that I had heard growing up that you needed, but I didn't know how to do that. They helped me file my taxes and FAFSA, you know, life skills that I just didn't know before. I guess what I would say to them is just do it. I'd be like, you're not wasting your time. you're gonna actually learn things that matter and you'll use the rest of your life. And you get money out of it. I mean, I think that's probably the best part for a student because they don't care about everything else. They're like, ooh, money, and they're instantly hooked. But then the second they join, they realize that that's not the important part. That's not what makes JAG cool. And they realize that they learned so much valuable information that they never would have got before. And even just having that relationship with their specialist, like that's something you don't get at normal high school. Like you don't have that relationship, even with your favorite teacher. It's just different. They're more like a friend than like a parent or like a teacher or anyone like that. Like that's my favorite thing when I go to JAG events, is to hear the specialists like talk and joke around with their students. It's like their family. I think what I would do is I would just go to schools. I would like, you know how they do like drug prevention, how they have people come and talk, and that's what I would do. I would get a couple specialists, a couple kids, and I would walk around. I'd go to every school and say, hey, this is what JAG is, this is what we do, and this is why you need it. And honestly, I don't think there would be much argument because it's such an influencing class. Like, it's not even a class. Like, I think it's more of, it's not even like a club. Like, it has everything. Like, there's so many components to it. Like, it would never be a waste of time. You know what I mean? Like, you can't go to JAG, and even if you're like the minimal student like my friend was and like didn't really care, like she still got stuff out of JAG, you know? And once you graduate, how they still contact you for a year. I mean, while you're going to college and you're like, man, like, this is the first time I've been on my own, like, I don't really know what I'm doing, like, I need help. They're there for you, you know? And more so than your parents. Like, I love my parents, but neither one of them went to college. So it has been a learning experience for me and my mom. Like, she's like, wow. She all the time, she's like, man, I wish I would have gone. Like, she's like, this is so fun. Like, so having Christine there at any moment, like last night, I think I texted her at like 9:30 and I was like, hey, I have this scholarship. Like, what does this mean? And she immediately responded. She's like, oh, it just means this. And I was like, just having that support system, it's more than amazing. And that's what makes it better than a class. Oh my gosh, I would be ecstatic. I think it'd be like hearing that I got accepted into college all over again. Like, it would mean that all my work has finally like meant something.